This is something that so many psychotherapists and therapists really grapple with. I learn an approach, and this is remarkable. And I think that I can do so much with it, and this is complete.
Episode 13.
Wow, it's amazing.
It is amazing. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I think we've covered so much ground. And just to have a look at the last episode. So the last episode, you really answered the question, is the interactional approach just a different name for systems? And we looked at yes and no. And that it really is, it's a special application of the systems approach. With the special, and that special application being is looking at the interpsychic perspective of observing behavior, making it tangible, and how that really makes psychopathology visible and really helps with a trained observation for a psychotherapist.
That is so clear. Absolutely. And that is the exciting aspect of this, that at the moment it's interactional. We're looking at not just circular processes, but those that are visible by way of behavior and communication. And psychopathology becomes so clear and trained to the observer in description. Beautifully described.
Okay. So the question is with the person-centered and the communication theory and then the special application of the systems approach, what do we do we put it together? How do we put it together? Is it different from the eclectic approach? Just to make a bit more sense of that.
Yeah, this is something that so many psychotherapists and therapists really grapple with. I learn an approach, and this is remarkable. And I think that I can do so much with it, and this is complete. And then being introduced to another approach, and as one is introduced to the next approach, there seems to be some truth or validity here, some meaning in the approach. But now we've got two approaches. Then we look at the next approach, and we want to do it so thoroughly, so comprehensively. And as we look at the third approach, well, we've wanted to do approaches 1 and 2 so thoroughly, but now we've got 3, and it also seems to have value. And now what? And so the challenge then is, often a therapist will be inclined to just go with one approach because it has a lot of meaning. The difficulty or limitation, though, is that, as we've noted before, when it comes to human behavior and human experience, we are so unique, each of us. Our needs, our wants, our ways of relating, our thinking, we're extremely creative. And so the number of nuances for human functioning experiencing is just profound. It just continues. So anytime you use one approach, it's limited because no one approach can incorporate all human beings, all human behavior and communication, all thinking. So the challenge then is, well, if so, then what we do and what are we looking at? Because what you describe is, if you just pick up one approach and run with that, and then stop with that, and somewhere along in the session pick up another approach and some of the thinking and just pick up the next. It's a haphazard way. It's like just sort of putting ingredients in any way. So just more of a cookbook approach. And then if you just commit to one theoretical approach and one frame of reference, you're going to be limited. No matter what is said about any approach, the proponents always say this is remarkable, this is the way. And there is no one size fits all. And some of the research from last century showed us, and we'll go into more detail when we've got time in upcoming episodes, but therapy is can be helpful, but so it can be really helpful, profoundly so, but it can also be not helpful. But we've learned that it goes beyond that. Some therapy, if it's not indicated, is not just simply neutral. It may be, it could be anti-therapeutic. So it really is a situation where we have to be very selective about who we're working with, and in some informed way, trying to make sense of what approach we'll use and 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 how we do this.
It's actually so complex, and there's so many nuances to it that what it sounds like is we need training. We need training in understanding this.
Yeah, we're looking at some very meaningful concepts, and I think exactly that's where training comes in. At the center, we run with many workshops, and we level and grade them. And so learning one particular approach, learning another approach, and beginning then to utilize and bring them together in some meaningful way. To begin with, it's really helpful for a therapist to learn one approach and to learn it really, really well. And then as the therapist becomes more confident, to begin looking at another approach and becoming adept at that, and so on. And then very carefully looking to how do we incorporate them without just picking up, dropping, picking up, dropping, picking up. Yeah. So that whoever we're working with, then we're going to increase the probability of support and mobilizing the client. Because again, no one size fits all. No therapeutic approach will support every person. And one therapeutic approach may even have not just a no significant effect, but could have an anti-therapeutic. So the way we can get around that is by understanding a number of approaches well, but not just that. Moreover, how do we bring them together and apply them in a meaningful way?
That sounds amazing, and it is. It's like I say, it's understanding each of them in depth and then putting them together. And that also then becomes my next question of how do we do that? How do you not just use one approach and then move into the next one and then the next one, but combining all of that and understanding your client in that perspective?
Yes. Well, now you're really talking about the art of therapy.
It's indeed true. It's the art of therapy.
Yes. All right, we'll get there.
We'll get there. Okay, so maybe we can have a look at that then in the next session.
Yes.